your attention to the flag of the United States of America located on the north end of the arena for our national anthem. Tonight's rendition has been recorded by founding member and lead singer of the LA Symphonic Metal Band, Balong. Here is Laura Bradley.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
With our national anthem, Laura Bradley. A very good evening and welcome to Staples Center for tonight's matchup, featuring the visiting Atlanta Hawks and your LA Clippers. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for this evening's contest. First, the visitors, the Atlanta Hawks.
Gone, but will never be forgotten. Elgin Baylor made his name as a Laker, finished his basketball career as an executive with the Los Angeles Clippers for 22 years. Just a couple of moments ago, Clippers had a moment of silence. Sorry, a lot of people don't understand just the impact that he had on the game and how high of a level he played. Through your eyes, how great was Elgin Baylor?
Number one pick of the Lakers, limited time All-Star. He scored 61 points in Game 5 of an NBA Finals. He was different. He was strong. He was agile. He was athletic. He could make shots off balance, create stuff that we hadn't seen before. He was ahead of his time, and I'm not sure that over all the years he really has gotten as much credit as he should for being a very, very special player in this league.
Earlier this afternoon, the Clippers released this statement. The Clippers mourn the loss of Elgin Baylor, a transcendent player, a beloved teammate, and a pioneering executive. Baylor was a Los Angeles basketball institution, first as a superstar for the Lakers, then as the general manager of the Clippers, leading the team's front office for 22 years. We extend our deepest condolences to the Baylor family.
Starting lineup for your LA Clippers. At guard, 6'3" in his 10th season from Boston College, number 1, Reggie Jackson. At forward, 6'9" in his 10th year from North Philadelphia, number 8, Marcus Morris Senior. The man in the middle, 7'1" in his 5th campaign from Croatia, number 40, Ivica Zubac. At guard, 6'9" in his 11th season from Palmdale, number 13, Paul.
Clippers basketball is brought to you by CarMax, official used car retailer of the LA Clippers. By Honey,
Score great deals when shopping online. Download it for free today at joinhoney.com. And by Hyundai. The Hyundai Spring Upgrade event is going on now. Hurry in and get the upgrade you deserve. Beautiful look at our city as the Clippers look to win back-to-back games for the first time in over a month. This is how the two teams will square off tonight. Kind of the usual suspects of late, anyway, for the Clippers, with Ivica Zubac and Reggie Jackson being out there. Meanwhile, on the other side, one of the more fun players to watch, Trae Young, and he's got the Hawks playing very good basketball. They've won 8 straight games as we send it over to the third, and many people say the most important member of our broadcast team, Miss Christina Pink.
Well, thanks, Brian. You know, the Clippers are the best free throw shooting team in the league by percentage, but the Hawks, well, they know how to get to the line. That is tonight's Taco Bell take. The Clippers defense has to be disciplined because the Hawks are top 5 in free throw percentage, attempts, and personal fouls drawn. And Trae Young, you see him right there. He is ahead of the snake. Ty Lue making a point pregame to say they have to keep him from getting to the line. They have to mix things up against him. Don't let him get comfortable. Brian?
Christina, thanks. Yeah, Ty Lue said that he might throw a little diet of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George the way of Trae Young. And again, they're looking for back-to-back wins. So you see it for the first time since basically Valentine's Day. Clippers have a way of 29 games here to get everything in order. Nate McMillan took over on March 2nd as the interim head coach. They haven't lost since. In fact, a couple of games that Lloyd Pierce had missed earlier, they're actually 10-1 under the guidance of Nate McMillan. The defense has gone up, the pace has gone down, and they are now back into the playoff picture.
Nate McMillan did an outstanding job when he was in Indiana as the head coach. He basically looked at the players when they gave him the head coaching position and said, we all must point the finger at ourselves. We all must take responsibility for what has taken place here. Lloyd Pierce lost the job over it. We've got to get better at certain things. And he challenged them, and they've responded.
Hawks win the tap. They'll have the ball to start the fourth quarter as well. Young, triple teamed. One thing that he can do, everybody looks at his deep threes, but he is an elite level passer. Turnover on the first possession for the Hawks.
I like the defensive sequence right there by the Clippers by coming up with that steal, turnover, and an opportunity for a three.
Morris Senior for 3, and the Clippers strike first.
I could see while it was on the way that it was going in. That's why I worded it that way.
You know, yeah, last game you said you could see Paul George talking with his back to us, and now you're predicting shots in mid-flight. You are the 8th wonder of the world. As Collins, very good around the rim, shows why, and he puts the Hawks on the board.
You know, Collins may be the most responsible person for this 8-game streak because Trae Young's numbers really aren't like skyrocketing out, but Collins has been terrific.
No, another lob from Kawhi Leonard wheels up as the Clippers lead 5-2.
Back pick there, and if the point guard doesn't call it out or switch into it, that's what happens. You wind up with a lob dunk.
Herder, he was a real problem in the fourth quarter the last time these two teams met for the Clippers as Capella, a rare miss around rebound.
I never understood the deal with Capella. I thought he was just growing and getting better and better in Houston. All of a sudden, he was out of there.
They wanted to go with that centralist lineup. It didn't pan out, I think, the way that they were hoping for. It's a timeout for the good times moment.
Well, let's see who sets the back pick. It happens to be Trae Young's man. Trae Young is not going to get up in the air and get that pass. But that guy can.
Leonard gets his first bucket. Clippers didn't trail for 1 second against the Pelicans the other night. They lead 5-2. Capella alters the shot. Oh, a seismic slam that shakes the Southland for Ivica Zubac. Collins nudged on the way up. He'll go to the free throw line here.
Nice thing about Zoo, when his man leaves him, Capella goes to try and block a shot. Look where Zoo is, right on the glass, following it up, both hands on it, finishing it off with the dunk.
Zoo getting his 5th start of the year, filling in for Serge Ibaka, who has missed basically the last week with tightness in his lower back. If I had an update, I would give it to you. You see the numbers for John Collins. I thought last year Atlanta really had an opportunity to be in that playoff picture. Collins was suspended for 25 games. Were never really able to recover after that. Leonard weaves his way in, tries to lob it to Zoo. A whistle and an odd foul from John Collins and the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, Brian, it kind of has been the same thing for Atlanta up to this most recent 2 or 3 week stretch, because when you look at it, Reddish has played 26 of their 42 games. Bogdanovich, 17 of their 42 games. Hunter, 18 of 42 games. So they've had a lot of games missed by players that they were counting on.
Nice little lob from Paul George to Ivica Zubac. George had 10 assists in the win over the Hornets. Comes away with a block right there.
What a great play by Paul George. Not giving up on it, blocking it before it got to the glass.
Jackson slows it up. They find the mismatch. George against Trae Young.
This is a problem for Trae. They better come double quick.
Oh, another great exhibition of ball movement in and out, but a terrific possession nevertheless. Young summons the screen from Capella. Gets Jackson into his back pocket. Trae Young, one of the best in the league in floaters, was in that area. Right now it's time for the Carl's Cam replay.
Zoo with that little dribble handoff, and then Paul George goes right back and rewards the big man with the lob up on top. And just before it gets to the glass, Paul George knocks it into the glass.
Ball knocked out of bounds. They'll say last touch by the Clippers, and I believe that might be on Paul George. If it is, it's his first turnover in a while. I mentioned the 10 assists, 0 turnovers for Paul George in the win the other night against the Hornets.
One of the encouraging signs was 23 free throw attempts for the Clippers in the last game. And if you didn't notice, Brian, they did make all 23.
I was very quiet about that, not to put the hex on them. It was the third time in franchise history that they were perfect from the stripe. Whistle foul stops the clock, 8:45 to play in the first quarter. Trae Young to inbound. Now Herter controls. Herter's been a nice piece for Atlanta. Hops into the paint. Floater good.
I saw Paul George on that out-of-bounds play lean over and do a little fist bump with Nate McMillan, because that's a guy he played for a lot of basketball games in Indiana.
Leonard picked up by Tony Snell. We'll have more on that later. 2 high school teammates. Zoo barges down the lane, finds a wide-open Senyor for 3. His second tray in the first quarter.
The Clippers are liking the corners on the basketball floor, particularly when they're behind the three-point line.
Also love the old catch and shoot. Best team in the league. Shot clock into single digits. This is Snell. Nice pocket pass into Capella. Goes up and in with the left hand. Jackson plays a quick game of catch with George. Jackson for 3. He has been very good from above the arc. Clippers get the offensive rebound and the putback.
Quickness to the ball. Those 50-50 balls, who comes up with them? Teams that react quickly, get to them, and then you get another shot opportunity.
14-6 start here for the Clippers. They're 6 of 9 from the field. Collins inside. Not this time, says Ivica Zubac. And a foul there by Herter to slow down the fast break.
Back a second ago and watch when Zoo winds up with the ball rolling hard to the basket. PG comes off. Zoo goes right there. He stops. He could go up with it, but nah, he looks to the corner. He finds a teammate, and that's when you get one of those catch and shoots. Knock it down. Senyor.
A bad line for Ivica Zubac so far. 4 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a block. All of that, about 5 minutes of action. George sandwiched in for a moment by a couple of defenders. Backpedals. It's a bigger runway. Steps away for the long 2. Young, stutter step, drives the lane, whistle, and a foul. They'll go to the line when we come back. Under 7 to play in the first quarter. Clippers by 8. I'm watching your videos for 5 years.
This is another state case. Very number. Chase bang trying to bounce. Gotta count on my allowance.
It's time now for the top tier play presented by Arco.
Little back pick by Trey Young, man. So you get a lot of pass out of it. And then that pass was off the glass on purpose so that Zoo could follow it up. Again, Zoo at the rim with both hands. And now, Zoo, you can score. No, I'm going to kick it to my man. Senyor in the corner for 3. Nice job of sharing the basketball, passing the ball. I think that is starting to bring our assist total up a little bit.
Well, they've made 6 shots here tonight. They have 4 assists on those shots. They had 299 passes the other night against the Hornets. That bring up 300 is a big number. Only 2 teams average more than that. Clippers had gotten off to a start where they were in that category and in that area, but then they kind of dipped off. It's been re-emphasized from Ty Lue, move the basketball.
Did you go home after the game the other night, watch it again, and count 299 passes?
I actually lost count midway through the third quarter, had to go back and do it again. Now a quick word from Jack in the Box.
The triple bonus Jack combo is back for $5.99.
Like and subscribe, people.
Jack?
Young with a pair of free throws. Clippers out 14-8. Atlanta 3 for 7 from the field. Clippers 6 of 10. Morris Sr. with a couple of threes leads the way for the Clippers. He has 8. Late in the shot clock. Snell, a gifted defender, but Leonard gets around him. Up top to Senior for 3 and draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
The Clippers just want to clear up the spacing a little bit on that. Rich Jackson right next to Senior when the ball was passed out. You see it right there. The follow through, contact, and that's where the foul takes place.
Collins, that'll be his second foul. He's 1 for 2 tonight in 5 minutes. As Morris misses the first free throw of the night. Remember, Clippers went 23 of 23 against the Hornets. I feel like us talking about it earlier in the game has cast a spell on the Clippers. Worth pointing out, the free throw defense for the Hawks allows over 81%. Highest in league history. The nation stay locked in with the team, never miss a game, and play to win prizes in the LA Clippers official app. Download today at clippers.com/defense. That /app. That free throw defense that I was alluding to, Czar, is something that all coaches are trying to figure out.
I always
Trying to figure it out. Big deal.
okay, what should we do? Step in early to throw them off so they get another attempt?
Well, it worked. Whatever Nate McMillan was doing, he forced a miss from Marcus Morris Sr. Although Morris now with 10 points here in the first quarter, 2 out of 3. Bad. Herder accelerates down the lane. Morris with a one-handed rebound inside. Here come the Clippers. They've doubled up Atlanta here in the first 6 minutes. Morris feeling good. Misses badly, and Gallinari with a flat-footed rebound for the Hawks.
You saw that outlet pass went directly to Paul George. Senior knows who should be handling the ball and running the show out there. He knows he can make shots with catch and shoot opportunities.
George stumbles, whistle, and a foul against the Hawks. That'll be I believe the fourth team foul for Atlanta here in this first quarter.
Well, that's a good thing, because that means that you're getting to the bonus early. You're halfway through the first quarter, and already the opponent has 14 fouls. So now, over somebody's back, a guy reaching in, slapping it, you're going to shoot free throws.
I looked it up the other day. Clippers are 12th in the league when they are in the penalty in free throws made. So it doesn't coincide with them being near the bottom of the list in terms of overall free throw percentage. They do a better job of getting to the line when they are in the bonus. Let's see if they can do that here again. Zubats drives on Capella, changes gears, and lays it in, and the Clippers lead by 10.
Nice footwork there. Show the ball, pivot on that left foot, come around for the jump up.
Young bluffs the three, gives it to Capella, goes right back to Young. Clever pass inside, better defense by Senyor. 9 to shoot for the Hawks as the defense quickly recoils for the Clippers. Bogdanovich, is he aware of the clock? He is now, flings a three and knocks it in.
I think he heard you. He would not have shot that ball if you didn't say that. You know?
I should be more quiet up here. I thought this plexiglass was soundproof. My mistake, Czar. Here's George. Can he retaliate? He does. And once again, the Clippers' lead swells to double digits.
That's one of the reasons, Brian, that you just, when you're obviously kidding about you whispering or not, and you see Trae Young knock one down. But it's one of the reasons why coaches want to race the ball up the floor. And ideally, they said they'd like to have it in the front court within 4 seconds, because it gives you more time for something like what happened last time. They still got that shot off and made a three, Atlanta.
Bogdanovich comes away with the loose ball.
That was 4 seconds. He was up into that position exactly at 20 on the 24-second clock.
Young's floater astray. The tap in by Capella is good. We've got a timeout. Clippers have led by as many as 10 here in the first quarter.
And Kawhi Leonard being defended by Tony Snell in this game. And we're going to call it a class reunion. 2 local products and 2 former high school teammates. They attended Riverside King in 2009, won the state championship. That was also the year that Kawhi Leonard won the state's Mr. Basketball. And throughout the years, Kawhi has said that he was really proud of his former high school teammate for kind of carving out an opportunity in the NBA. But guys, one thing interestingly that they have in common is that they are fairly quiet on social media. Who would have thought that was?
Christina thinks that Tony Snell actually uses a BlackBerry. He does not have what the kids call the updated smartphone. But birds of a feather, as they say. Here is the former Mr. Basketball, twisting and turning, feeding inside to Ivica Zubac. How about Zoo? 8 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a block here in the first quarter.
You can see why they won the state championship. They had the other teams confused. They didn't know if the Kings were coming, the Wolves were coming. They had 2 different nicknames for their team.
Gallo gets a good look at a 3 in the air. It is good. We saw that an awful lot, certainly in 18 and 19. Danilo Gallinari, we'll talk more about him, but what an acquisition for Atlanta. Kawhi Leonard doing work inside. Back to Senyor for 3. Oh, it's a hat trick for Marcus Morris Sr.
Skip pass over the top. They got to get the ball over the arms of the defenders, and it was right on the money.
A catch and shoot variety 3 for Gallo, not there. Capella with the rebound. Number 12 at the bottom of your screen, DeAndre Hunter. He has not played since January 29th. Meanwhile, Gallinari, there's going up against your former team, extra energy, a couple of threes early.
Well, offensive rebound so important to Atlanta. Capella goes after him. You've got to put a body on him to eliminate those second shot opportunities. Much is passed by Kawhi. Knows exactly that the big man has crossed underneath, gets up in the air, and then drops it back down. And then getting it over the top of the defender's hands from Atlanta, finds Senyor in the corner for 3.
10 shots made for the Clippers, 7 assists. The ball is moving. The energy is good. They have led by as many as 10 here in this first quarter. Bogdanovich. This is badly. Capella with the rebound and the putback.
That's one of those offensive rebounds that you just can't help. It hits the rim and lands right in Capella's hands. Zoo had challenged the first shot, hadn't had a chance to get back to his man yet.
Kongwu, beg your pardon, with that tip in for Atlanta. Former Hawk Lou Williams tries to bounce inside to Zoo, so doing a great job of protecting the ball. Back on Saturday, back-to-back giveaways for the Clippers. They lead by 4. Young, the lob, and the bucket. 26-24, and just like that, we've got a ball game here in downtown Los Angeles.
Trae Young is so hard to keep in front of you. He winds his way through the bodies, and then he has the eyes to see open teammates.
A laser pass from Kawhi Leonard. Batum unable to convert. Under 2 minutes to play here in this first quarter. A deflection, but recovered by Atlanta. Young, a deep 3. Very comfortable in that position, and he knocks it in.
It's like nobody was coming out at Hunter, or Trae Young, I mean, and eventually Kawhi made the effort to get out there, but way too late.
11-point turnaround here in this first quarter, and it all has to do with turnovers for the Clippers. A whistle, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Clippers.
Talk about trying to keep him in front of you. Well, for Zoo, it's going to be particularly hard, and then once you turn your head, you've got big men going to the front of the rim. It's just a matter of him lobbing it up, and you've got to respect his ability to make threes.
Nate McMillan was asked about fewer deep threes from Trae Young. He's been prone to pull up from the logo, which I'm not sure that's a great play, regardless of the efficiency. He said, look, we want to teach good shots. We want early and we want late. He's got these Hawks, there's Nate McMillan, playing in the best basketball of the season, again, winners of 8 in a row. 6 to shoot for Lou. Gets around Hunter, gets to the rim, but cannot lay it in. Hawks by 1. Clippers have led by 10 here. Gallinari for 3. And Batum has the loose ball with nearly a minute to play in this first quarter. Lou bumped by Rondo. Whistle stops the clock and will put Lou Williams at the line. The beauty of being in the bonus. You can see the change happened on March 2nd. We have not lost a game ever since. pace has slowed, but the defense is really what caught my eye, and not a surprise knowing Nate McMillan.
Well, 8 in a row coming into this game, but how about the tough schedule that they're out on? This is some road trip with these guys, so they better be ready. They better be zeroed in and listen to that guy, Nate McMillan, their head coach, because this journey that they're on right now, there's not a lot of games that you look at and say, well, that's definitely winnable, There's some tough opponents, as you can see.
They started their trip with a win over the Lakers on Saturday. They'll stay in California for a time. It'll be an interesting stretch here for the Hawks, but again, they're 4th out east. Clippers out in front, thanks in part to a couple of free throws from Lou Williams. Leonard has been aggressive here in this first quarter. Whips it pass right to Bogdanovich. 4th turnover for the Clippers. Bogdanovich to Rondo, and he lays it in.
That's your 2-on-1 fast break drill that you do in practice every day. They executed it to perfection.
A teeter-totter end to this first quarter, and a 2-for-1 situation for the Hawks. It'll be Clipper basketball to start this second quarter, however. Lou to man! Oh, my! Trampolines off the hardwood for the flush. Clippers by 1, a whistle with a foul to give. They do just that with 4.3 to play in this first quarter.
It's a good thing that's knowing that your team has a foul to give as you come back down the stretch. And Lou going by, shuffles it along the baseline, and Terrence Mann behind the Hawks defense, wide open for the finish.
Amir Coffey has checked in at the closing parts of this first quarter to help put a lid on the Hawks offense. 4.3 to play. Late in the clock, air ball, and that will do it. Well, the Clippers led by as many as 10 in the first quarter. They'll take a 30-29 lead into the second frame. Yeah, last game you said you could see Paul George talking with his back to us, and now you're predicting shots in mid-flight. You are the 8th wonder of the world, as Collins, very good around the rim, shows why, and he puts the Hawks on the board.
Trae Young's numbers really aren't like skyrocketing out, but Collins has been terrific.
Oh, another lob from Kawhi Leonard wheels up as the Clippers lead 5-2 against the Pelicans the other night. They lead 5-2. Capella alters the shot. Oh, a seismic slam.
You look at it, Reddish has played 26 of their 42 games. Bogdanovich, 17 of their 42 games. Hunter, 18 of 42 games.
Trae Young to inbound. Now Herter controls. Herter's been a nice piece for Atlanta. Hops into the paint. Floater good. Shot clock into single digits. This is Snell. Nice pocket pass into Capella. Goes up and in with the left hand. Jackson for 3. He has been very good from above the arc. Clippers get the offensive rebound and the putback. number 5 in the Clippers, and I believe the second for Paul George.
I'm not sure Paul George agreed with that one. Watch the reaction after.
I'm not even sure Hunter was trying to sell a foul. I think he just got tripped up a little bit. Rondo. Back to Hunter. Flings a 3. Good contest by Paul George. Nice rebound from Mann. Clippers out in front by 2. Mann. From rim to rim. Terrence Mann lays it in.
Different speed for Terrence Mann. He comes flying at those defenders, and they're not used to guys being as fast, as big as he is, and then his ability to finish.
Rondo to Collins for 3. 10.5 to play in the half. Former Hawk Lou Williams. They pass it around to Patterson, who misses on the 3. Mann out-rivaled for the loose ball by Rondo, but not without a great effort. Rondo downhill to the rim. Mann with another rebound, doesn't have numbers, but doesn't seem to care. Collides with Bogdanovich. Whistle and a foul. Time now for the drive to the hoop, brought to you by Hyundai.
Watch Mann with the ball, head up, surveying the floor, and then he sees the opening and ability to finish with that left hand. He's long, elevates, eyes on the rim, concentration.
How about this line? 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 minutes. Patterson misses the long 2. Saw Patterson doing a lot of work inside on Saturday against the Hornets. His efforts tonight have been from outside the painted area. Collins between 2 defenders and lays it in. Cuts the lead down to 2. Again, the Clippers have led by as many as 10. George, catch and shoot 3. Mentioned it earlier, Clippers the best in the league. They've got about 5 guys that shoot 40% or better in that catch and shoot department. Bogdanovich picked up by Batum. Gallo spins into a jumper, misfires, and Paul George collects the loose ball.
Gallo never tried to take advantage of his size over Mann, or maybe he felt Mann was a little more physical than we were anticipating.
Drive in the dish. Paul George misses on the 3, and Gallo has the rebound. Clippers 4 of 11 from above the arc. Count the bucket for Collins. And a tough position for Lou Williams.
Collins is such an important piece on this Hawks roster because he rebounds, he can make jump shots, gets on the offensive boards, and there you see him run the floor, his ability to finish.
Well, I don't know what. That's a foul. That's for sure a foul. Not arguing that. I don't understand the continuation or the lack of continuation when it is in a shooting motion. I guess we'll never know.
Is it ball on the way up? Is that the way they interpret it?
Did you interpret that play as the ball on the way up?
I see it a couple more times.
Lob into Mann, goes to the rim, floats it up, but it crawls off the iron, and Collins comes away with the rebound. First trail by 1, Rondo. Bogdanovich now in the corner for 3. Collins parachuting in out of nowhere, count it and a foul, and give him one more on the house again.
That's what I was just talking about. This young man so vital and important to this 8-game winning streak for the Hawks. He works hard, he jumps, he's long, aggressive around the glass, and nobody big in there with him, so he winds up with a score and an opportunity at the free throw line.
You see his average on the season. He had 27 and 16 in their win over the Lakers a couple of nights ago. Hawks out in front. Make it 4 with 8:28 to play in the second quarter. Lou turns on the Jets, goes between the legs to Bogdanovich, gets the ball back, hoisting up a 3. The short list there for Lou Williams highlights, and that says a lot, but he misses on the tray, and the Hawks rebound leading by 4. Bogdanovich sheds his defender, penetrates and pitches to Snell for three. It's good, and the Hawks now lead 41-34.
Look, the difference in this last stretch is that the Clippers cannot make the wide open shot. Not like they're taking tough shots. They're wide open. There's nobody near them, but they're not going down. Meanwhile, the other end, Atlanta passes the ball around and they're knocking down shots.
Both teams shooting 48% from the floor. Clippers have 6 turnovers to 3 for Atlanta. Almost 6 giveaways. 8 points for the Hawks. And you're starting to see why the Hawks have won 8 in a row. Another 3 by Snell. This time this one off the mark. Clippers trail by 7 here in the first half. Lou, good look at a corner 3 offline. Zoo, doing work inside. He felt the presence of Capella, but lays it up and in.
Sometimes Zoo just tips it to himself because he can't get both hands on it, but he's so much better when he gets both, grabs strong, then he has the opportunity to finish.
Great box out by Ivica, comes away with the rebound as well. Clippers trail by 5. By the way, Zoo with 10 first half points. George to the rim, no. Zubats with the rebound. Off the window, it wiggles out. First miss for Zoo. He had been 5 for 5 prior to that.
Williams took a foul on purpose. Want to know why the officials didn't call it.
Well, Ivica, Zubats, and the Clippers trail by 5, but Ivica has been terrific here in this first half. No. Atlanta out in front, however, by 8. They've outscored the Clippers 33-15 since the Clippers were out in front by 10 back in the first quarter. Leonard, a line drive, hook shot falls. It's 44-38. Kawhi Leonard with just his second basket.
He only has 3 field goal attempts, Kawhi. So this is time for him to go to work. I would expect to see the ball in his hands frequently now in the rest of this quarter.
Young runs into a pair of defenders. Snell there to retrieve. 5.5 to play in the second quarter. Snell just casually saunters down the lane and lays it in. A lack of communication defensively for the Clippers.
Turned the corner way too easily and wound up playing north-south with no opposition, basically.
Zeus sets a screen for Kawhi. Keeps his former teammate into his back pocket. Fades, fires in and out. Zubac's battling for the rebound, but it's Herter that comes away for Atlanta. Capella sets the screen that frees Herter for the tray. Capella comes away with the rebound. Gets to the rim. A whistle and a foul will send him to the free throw line.
They've got a couple guys who aggressively go after the basketball. You're talking about Capella being one and Collins the other. Boy, those two as four men, 5 men go up, ball goes up, they're there. You've got to block out, you've got to jump with them.
Be sure to catch the Agua Caliente Clippers in action this season, live from the G League bubble in Orlando. Reserve your courtside seats for the 21-22 season now with just a $50 deposit per seat. Don't miss out. Visit acclippers.com for more info. Capella makes the first of 2. I like this Atlanta team. I thought they would make a run last year. I think the suspension for Collins really put them behind it, and it was so tough to climb back into it. I think ownership over the last couple of years has done a wonderful job of putting together a team that can win. It doesn't hurt when you have a talent like Trae Young. Clippers are down by 10, so a 20-point turnaround in this game. Not the good kind. Kawhi Leonard, bump going up, no whistle, but he lays it home, and he cuts the lead down to single digits with his third bucket.
Talking about Atlanta's roster, they've got those very talented youngsters, but how about then you bring in a Gallinari and you bring out Rondo, guys with some experience.
Leonard coming and a foul. After a brilliant defensive play by Ivica Zubac, it ignites the break for Kawhi.
Well, we talked about the ball had to find Kawhi's hands a little more often. Then you see Trae shot blocked, and that gets the Clippers out in transition. And who wants to guard Kawhi Leonard when he's coming at you full speed?
Tony Snell probably is all too familiar with it from their high school days as Leonard goes to the line, knocks in the three-point play, and just like that, the lead cut in half. Young brings it across half court. Hawks quickly call time. 4:11 to play in the first half. Atlanta by 5.
Clipper fans, within the Fox Sports Go app, you have access to Clippers Court Vision, powered by AWS. Clippers Court Vision lets you control and customize your live viewing experience. Select from multiple augmented reality features to transform the way you watch. Court Vision, powered by AWS, brings you closer to the game. For more information, visit foxsportsgo.com or experience it on the Fox Sports Go app now. Hawks out in front by 5 have led by
guy rolls to the basket, catch lob passes, or winds up on the offensive boards. That time they ran a play to get him in the post, hoping he would be able to score with his back to the basket.
It was just 6 of 17 in the quarter. Tough pass by Leonard. Herter lobs to Capella where he does all of his damage, high above. And once again, now the lead balloons to 9 for Atlanta. Leonard. We've seen this before when the team struggles. Kawhi likes to go into kind of ISO mode as Young draws the foul from Terrence Mann. Talking with Ty Lue earlier this week, he said, look, Kawhi's doing the right things. He's got to drive. He's got to find players that are open. If no one's open, he's got to take the shots. Leonard tonight is 4 of 7, 9 points, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. I mentioned that Hawk defense. Clippers just 6 of 18 here in the second quarter. He is, Trae Young, you see, he is as clever as there is in the league at drawing fouls. We laughed about it the last time we saw Atlanta back in January. It was just a couple of days after Steve Nash said it wasn't basketball. Steve Nash was the one that inspired probably Trae Young to do what he has done, and that's a hat tip to Steve Nash, not a slight in any way. Back to a 10-point cushion, 1 out of 2 for the Hawks. They have struggled a bit at the line. 8 of 12. They did lead by 10. Kawhi gets downhill, look out, bumped into Capella. A whistle will send Leonard to the line.
Yeah, Trae Young didn't know what to do with this on that pick and roll. Leonard's coming wide open down the lane. He knows the body's going to come over and there's going to be contact. But Trae Young's straightened out with his teammate how they want to play that.
Well, Kawhi goes to the line. Clippers 5 of 6 from the stripe. They'll be in the bonus the rest of the way. Now, a quick word from Sweet James.
Not all personal injury law firms are the same. Experience counts. Results matter. If your case is important to you, call us now for a free consultation.
We talked about earlier, 23 free throw attempts last game for the Clippers. Now, as you just mentioned, just 6 of 7. This is free throw number 8 coming up for the Clippers, 7 of 8. So the opportunities to get to the foul line, so important to add points, and also allows your defense to set up so you can get back and be ready for this Atlanta attack.
Interception by Paul George does not have numbers. He'll still push the tempo a little bit anyway. Ignores a screen from Zoo, steps into a mid-range shot offline. Young darts down the lane. The league leader in floaters shows why. And the Clippers, by the way, have given up the most floaters in the league. As Atlanta now leads by 10, 55-45. Approach the 2-minute warning here in the first half.
Trae Young understands that he has to master that floater because the big men are going to lay back when he comes off screens. He's going to have that opportunity to get it up there while he's taking off in that layup mode.
Clippers just 6 of 20 from the field in the second quarter. Trae Young knocks down the triple again, and he has 16 first-half points. You mentioned his scoring hasn't really peaked. In his last 4 games, he is averaging just... It's a credit to the depth of this Hawk squad. Another turnover. That's 8 of them now for the Clippers.
You'll see him turn the corner. Big man lays back, Sue. So what does he do? He shoots the floater. And now gets back behind that three-point line. He wants to show you, I'm just not a guy who makes layups in the paint. I can knock it down from way downtown.
Oh, he's clever.
He's on a roll right now. Picking the Clipper defense apart, getting where he wants to on the floor because of his handle.
15-point lead for Atlanta. A 25-point turnaround in this first half after the Clippers led 21-11. Young, 6 of 10 from the field, draws a crowd, gives it to Snell, and now the ball works around the horn over to Herter. Ignores a Capella screen, now uses it, draws the ire of a double team, and then throws it away. The lone blemish here in the first half for Atlanta. Ball goes back to the Clippers, under a minute to play here.
I think Trae Young is going to come out because he is huffing and puffing and put that hand up, so hopefully his coach will get somebody in there for him to play defense. But it's not him. Coach said, nope, you stay on the floor, we'll substitute for your backcourt mate.
They still have maybe a possession or two left in this first half offensively. Let's see what the Clippers can do here to go perhaps a 2-for-1 opportunity. Kawhi double team. Good ball movement. Paul George good in the corners, but misses there. Clippers just 4 for 14 from above the arc here tonight. Young runs over George. A blocking foul will be called on PG-13.
PG switching on to him right there. He's stepping in, and there's Trae. Tries to turn the corner, so yeah, contact. Feet were not set.
It allows the Hawks now to get to the free throw line, and barring a real quick shot for the Clippers, 2-for-1 opportunity for Young and the Hawks. They have been very good. You can look back at that Laker game and say, well, LeBron James was injured and didn't play much of it. You're seeing now why. We mentioned this earlier, why they are winners of 8 in a row. Now, a technical, he was not using appropriate language, it was PG-13 language to the officials, and Gallinari a steady hand at the line, now 91 of 97 from the free throw line. Now another free throw here for Young to add insult to injury.
I'm just guessing, but I saw Bogdanovich smiling and laughing, and you saw Gallinari turn around, look over his shoulder at him before he shot that, and I bet Bogdanovich said, wait a minute, who said you should be shooting that technical foul?
Bogdanovich has only been there 13 times. I mentioned it earlier. Gallo's been there 100 on the year. Leonard down the lane, spoon feeds Zoo. Deflected out of bounds. It will stay with the Clippers with 13 seconds to shoot. It was a great start for the Clippers. Not pointing fingers, but when the substitutions and the second unit started to come in, the ball got a little sloppy. 8 turnovers here in the first half, but they have just not found any rhythm in this second quarter. Leonard to Jackson to Batum. Back to Reggie. And the three falls, and it scratches the Clippers right where they itch. They trail by 15. They will trail at the turn. The question will be by how much. Any whistle will send the Hawks to the line. Young. Deep three. It's short, and that will do it. After leading 21-11 here tonight. 63-48 the score at the break.
Porter Jr. You've got to be kidding me.
Fine job, Morant, getting inside and throwing it down. Morant takes flight and action. Wow. Here's Jackson Hayes with the poster. Welcome to Jackson Hayes neighborhood. Now two-man game. Jackson!
Yeah.
With the
Yes, sir.
Nathan Knight takes it up and scores.
Oh, Nathan Knight, he had to smile about that one. That's a power dunk.
Yes. Trae Young driving, cut off, sends it now to Snell, and he got it. Tony Snell with the game winner.
Murray had an off-shooting first half.
Oh, what a pass by Murray! Spectacular dish behind the back. Wow.
Wagner is welcoming this monstrous challenge with Embiid.
Embiid left lane back to Wagner, spins, goes down, slam, and one. Got baseline against Wagner, and watch out below.
Joel catches it with his back to the basket, fist moves it, and hammers it, and he's looking for Wagner. Where are you, big fella?
How about that move?
Oh, three Edwards! Put that one on the highlight reel with Alvarez. That was a top shot, folks. Gonna be Zion. Hard to the hole. Little spring in his step.
It's normal. Look, he doesn't get all the way to the corner. He gets his BI sideline, and this right here, exploding over two really good athletes in Layman and also Carl Anthony Towns.
Complete step back. Jordan back to Harden. Lob up top. My goodness.
He's rocking you to sleep for Bane. The give and go, but then the give back. A chemistry and connectivity between these two that continues to build. I'm speechless. I am speechless.
Because Trae Young's numbers really aren't like skyrocketing out, but Collins has been terrific.
No, another lob from Kawhi Leonard wheels up as the Clippers lead 5-2 against the Pelicans the other night. They lead 5-2. Capella alters the shot. Oh, a seismic slam.
You look at it, Reddish has played 26 of their 42 games. Bogdanovich, 17 of their 42 games. Hunter, 18 of 42 games.
Defense quickly recoils for the Clippers. Bogdanovich, is he aware of the clock? He is now. Flings a three and knocks it in.
I think he heard you. He would not have shot that ball if you didn't say that. You know?
I should be more quiet up here. I thought this plexiglass was soundproof. My mistake, Czar. Here's George. Can he retaliate? He does. On Saturday, back-to-back giveaways for the Clippers. They lead by 4. Young, the lob, and the bucket. But Batum unable to convert. Under 2 minutes to play here in this first quarter. A deflection, but recovered by Atlanta. Young, a deep three. Very comfortable in that position, and he knocks it in. The Clippers lead by 1. George tries to take Rondo off the dribble and does, and makes a tough shot in the process. Drive and a dish. Paul George misses on the 3, and Gallo has the rebound. Clippers 4 of 11 from above the arc. Count the bucket for Collins. Bogdanovich now in the corner for 3. Collins parachuting in out of nowhere, count it, and a foul, and give him one more on the house again. Tina thinks that we saw a lot of those assists of Chris Paul's. Kudos to him. And Mike, you were on top of that from the word go with LaMelo Ball. You saw him go down, shaking that wrist the other night. Clippers are down by 10, so a 20-point turnaround in this game. Not the good kind. Kawhi Leonard, bump going up, no whistle, but he lays it home.
For shows, I'm juggling. You the ocean, my boat, I'm paddling. Sharashing up, and that's my bro, my family.
Cedar-Sinai. Cedar-Sinai is right here to keep you protected and healthy today and every day. Cedar-Sinai, we're right here. And by the all-new Kia K5. Give it everything. Clippers down at the turn, 63-48, and have trailed by as many as 18 to the hottest team in the league, the Atlanta Hawks. It's time now for the game summary brought to you by Kia. We take a look back at that second quarter. Trae Young.
Isn't it all about adjustment? Well, they better make some now because he sees the big man, blows by him, Kawhi steps up. Nobody's in the back line to protect the rim. If you back off a little bit too much, Trae Young recognizes it. You give him too much space, he'll launch it from behind the three-point line. He's a very good three-point shooter. And then when he goes down the lane and the big men back off and give him that space, well, then he's got that beautiful floater right at the rim. This guy is a bundle to handle, comes out with 20 points in that first half.
He's doing a little bit of everything. It was a slower start getting everybody else involved, and then he took over. There you see it, 13 points in the second quarter. It's time now for Give It Everything, brought to you by Kia. We take a look at the Clippers' defense over the past few games. You can see it's a short sample size, but you're seeing trends of improvement. We need to get back to that here tonight.
When you look at the stat sheet, you see quickly that Atlanta has beaten the Clippers. Points, second chance points, points in the paint, and turnovers. That's a lot of categories.
Well, the Hawks are one of the best in second chance points. In fact, second in the league. Meanwhile, the Clippers are fifth in fewest allowed. Something was going to give tonight. Unfortunately for the Clippers, the Hawks, it has been business as usual. Clippers have trailed by as many as 18 here tonight. That's the biggest lead that they have overcome this season. It happened just after losing to Atlanta back in January. The Clippers would prevail in Miami after trailing by 18 in the first half. First shot for George and the Clippers offline. Atlanta with the rebound.
Well, George just 1 of 5 from the three-point line.
Snell for three. 66-48. And I'll tell you this is not a timeout for Ty Lue for well wishes. This will be a business timeout. Back after this. seconds into the third quarter, and Ty Lue calls timeout. Why did he do it?
Well, because you've got to know who you're playing. Hold right there. Watch this man, Tony Snell, running to the corner. But watch where Paul George is looking. Nobody understands that there's a man wide open that they're going to pass the ball to. They're talking, oh, Paul George tries to get back, but that guy makes threes. A lot of them.
He's the hottest player in the league from above the arc since the month of February. Really, overall, shooting 56% from distance this season. Senyor for three. Offline, and the shots are not falling for the Clippers. 5 of 17. Hawks have rebuilt that 18-point lead again. The Clippers led 21-11. They were nearly flawless in the first 5 minutes of this game. A lot of credit to Atlanta. Nice deflection by Zubac. Interception by Paul George. Here come the Clippers. Ahead to Zoo. Tangled up by Snell, and Zoo will go to the line for 2.
Snell was not going to let Zoo dunk that one, so he takes the foul, sends it to the line.
Snell with 8 points, couple of threes for Atlanta. Meanwhile, Ivica Zubac has been phenomenal here so far. There you see it, 10 points and 8 rebounds. For the Clippers, who trail 66-48. Now a quick word about a big change coming to our network.
Your favorite teams have new networks. Fox Sports Prime Ticket in San Diego are becoming Valley Sports SoCal and Valley Sports San Diego, March 31st.
If you're anything like me, I'm very curious about the change myself. Clippers trail by 16.
So you break it down into segments. Can we get this thing back to 10 points by such and such amount of time left in the quarter? There's little things to try and accomplish here instead of trying to say, hey, we're down 16 points. We've got a lot of points to make up.
It's got to start on the defensive end. It wouldn't hurt to hit a couple of threes here and there. Clippers now 5 of 18 from distance. They trail by 16. Trae Young shows off the handles, the quickness. Capella bouncing into defenders, comes up on the other side. Great defense by Zoo. Second effort doesn't fall for Atlanta.
And I thought Capella actually had travel and waiting for the whistle to blow, but he got away with that one.
Leonard on Herter. Snell reaches in, knocks it free. Leonard recovers. Morris takes his time on this three and knocks it in. 66-53, the fourth triple for Marcus Morris Sr.
That one knocked off that cover that's been on the basket. The Clippers have been unable to convert wide open shots from behind the three-point line.
Senior's 4 of 7 from distance. The rest of the team 2 for 12. Young, pocket pass into Collins, and the floater is good for John Collins.
As a point guard with Trae Young, you've got a lot of different options here who you can go to for a score. These people on the floor, when they bring in Gallinari, you get Rondo coming off the bench to give them a rest.
Hey, back-to-back threes for the Clippers. It's down to a 12-point affair. Kawhi Leonard knocks down his first three. 14 points and 3 assists for Kawhi. Collins gets around Morris. Double clutcher at the rim, and his third and 1 opportunity here tonight.
Let's talk about his strength and his ability to concentrate. Now let's take a look and see Rondo walking by, putting her hand up, trying to affect the shooter. Now watch Collins drive it, take the contact, but his eyes are right on that basket and backboard. This guy's a really good young player.
I agree. A very good young player. I think he is a terrific Robin to perhaps a Batman that is Trae Young. Well, I don't know if Collins sees it that way. Paul George for 3, no. 71-56. A trap deflection. Good defense by the Clippers. The Hawks now begin their offense in single digits of the clock. Young, the floater, short. Capella, the follow, pure.
Capella certainly knows his role and what he's supposed to do to help this team win games.
10 points and 10 rebounds for Capella.
Jackson in a straight jacket, a whistle and a foul with 8:01 to play here in the third quarter.
Watch Capella go right down the paint, the black area, follows it, nobody puts a body on him, he finishes it up with two hands.
He had a triple-double earlier in the season with points, rebounds, and block shots. 4 minutes off this third quarter clock. Clippers just can't get any traction against the hottest team in the NBA. Senyor, strong drive to the rim, knocked off his horse, no whistle. Capella with a rebound. Collins spots an entry and finishes with a flurry at the iron. 75-56, biggest lead for Atlanta.
Well, why guess that he was going to jump in the passing lane on the pass to the corner? Well, we never made that pass. Instead, he took it all the way to the rim.
Jackson buzzes beneath the net. Gives to George in the corner for three. It's good. The Clippers are the best three-point shooting team in the league, especially from the corners.
You have to get some stops to allow yourself a chance to get back in the basketball game. So right now, 16-point lead for Atlanta.
Hawks 5 of 11. Here in the third quarter, they've outscored the Clippers 12-11. Snell, he just does not miss, apparently, since February. As hot as anybody in the league. In fact, the hottest in the league. Coming into tonight since February 1st, 39 of his last 62. Leonard gets a screen from Zoo. Aaron pass to Jackson. He is open for three. It spins off the iron. I feel like the passing has not been all that crisp here tonight. Close out by Leonard. Snell drives around him and floats it up and in. A 21-point lead for the Atlanta Hawks.
Rest in peace to one of the greatest players in NBA history. The league is mourning the loss of Elgin Baylor. Here's a statement in part that reads from Jerry Resting. He was one of the most gifted and special players this game will ever see. He has never gotten his just due for what he's accomplished on the court. My first few years in the league, he cared for me like a father would a son, and nurtured and encouraged him like no one else had during that part of his life. They shared the joy of winning and the heartbreaking losses during the finals. He was a prince both on and off the court. There are no words to describe how I feel at this time. Our thoughts go out to his family right now. This terrible loss for the league.
Do yourself a favor if you are a basketball fan. Go look up stories about Elgin Baylor and what he had to deal with in the late 50s and the 60s. He was playing on weekends because he was in the military.
He was a reserve, you're right.
He would get a day pass to go play with the Lakers on the weekends and then go back to the military in the state of Washington. Just an amazing record for Elgin Baylor. Do yourself a favor, please. Meanwhile, in the background, Ty Lue has said enough is enough, and he has brought in a unit, in my mind, that he thinks will give them some energy. As you take a look at Elgin Baylor's little resume there.
Remember in NBA Finals one year, he scored 61 points. It was Game 5. And he was just an incredible basketball player, way ahead of his time in how he played the game, putting it on the floor, converting contorted, twisting manners. He would be able to finish the play and take contact.
Saw the Executive of the Year back in 2006. That was because of a trade that brought Sam Cassell to the Clippers. They would rocket up the standings in the Western Conference because of that trade, and really were a fun team to watch. Let's see if this second unit can be a fun team to watch. Bogdanovich gets downhill and puts it deep in the well. 84-64, Clippers trail by 20.
So besides changing players, Ty Lue came out of that timeout and said, we're going to try a little bit of zone. So they went to that 2-3 zone for a couple possessions.
Batum, good look at a three, rolls off the iron, and the rebound tapped around, a whistle and a loose ball foul as Patrick Patterson mixing it up inside. You can see, to be honest, I don't think it was effort. To be honest, I mentioned energy, but I thought Zubac, I thought Kawhi played hard. PG was playing hard. Senior was knocking down threes. Just wasn't working.
But what happens is when you wind up missing shot after shot after shot, and they're wide open shots, then all of a sudden you start thinking you're not concentrating at the defensive end of the floor, getting the stops, maybe because it takes over your mind. It occupies it. Look, I can't knock a shot down, so I'm not worried about that. Instead of digging into the defensive end, you can stay close enough at least.
Oh, Coffee threw right by Bogdanovich and lays it in.
There's somebody in attack mode taking it to the rim. I heard that, by the way. I did. I just let it go. I heard it.
Bogdanovich, watched by Coffee. Hunter, shadowed by Patterson. Late on the clock, long two. It is good. Seemingly everything has fallen for Atlanta.
Shooting 54 from the floor, 42 from the three-point line.
Man stripped by Young. Bogdanovich leaks out and lays it in, 88-66.
When you look at the piece.
He quietly had a terrific offseason. So when he finally got healthy, these are the results that I think they were expecting as Luke Kennard continues his good play. A whistle and a timeout called by Atlanta. It's a 20-point lead for the Hawks. Under 4 to play here in the third.
Lazard, you were talking about some of the nice pickups the Hawks front office got in the offseason. This is a good look at them right here.
Why do you think they let the guy Vince Carter go? What is he, close to 50? What a career, yeah. But they got some nice pieces there. Bogdanovich scoring. Gallinari, shooter, three-point scoring. Rondo, run the show, veteran guy, been around, championship, the caliber, pedigree. Then, Dunn's a hard-nosed defender. Okongo, I can't honestly say I know a lot about him.
Rondo, we know an awful lot about. Gives to Bogdanovich, in and out on the three, and Kennard snaps the rebound. Was down by 20. They've led by 10 in this game. Kennard, his last meaningful minutes over the last couple of weeks, dating back to the pre-All-Star, he has looked like a different player. Coffee for three. Rebound tapped around, and whistle and a loose ball foul against the Clippers. There's Nate McMillan. Many people say the second greatest Hawks coach in history.
Who might number one be?
I changed my name during the break to many people. And number one is, of course, our favorite, the only one that matters, Mr. Mike Fratello.
Thank you, partner. We know about that.
Gallinari misses. Clippers trail by 20. Terrence Mann gives to Kennard. Great look at a three. Puts it up and puts it in. I keep saying it, but he just looks so different than he did 2 months ago. He has 7 off the bench. He's been more assertive, more aggressive, and the results are what you would expect with a player of his talent. It's good to see Luke Kennard. I don't appreciate the scoreboard. I like how he has played of late. Bogdanovich on a good contest by Patterson, misses a tough shot. Rebound poked out to Rondo. Gallo checks his feet, flings a three, offline. Rebound goes to Mann. This Clipper unit is playing with some spirit. Mann tied up by Rondo, and that will put the Clippers at the line with 2:22 to play here in this third quarter.
And that's why the head coach went with this group. He wanted some guys out there that are playing hard, that are making the extra effort, and he was hoping that some defensive stops would turn into some easy scores at the other end of the floor.
Saw Ty Lue there. I like the move. I like the move, what he's doing here. The youngsters have responded as Mann puts up and in the first of two. Hey, Clipper Nation, it's time to start thinking about the 21-22 season. Secure your seats for what will be another incredible year of Clippers basketball. Get your Clipper Nation MVP membership presented by City National Bank and Clippers.com/season tickets. Terrence Mann now with 9 points and 7 rebounds in 15 minutes, and the Clippers trail by 15.
So can you get this 15-point deficit under 10 before the quarter ends?
It was a similar unit that we saw in Miami that battled back from that 18-point deficit in late January. I'll bring that up. It's the largest deficit the Clippers have overcome this year. Bogdanovich misses badly. Mann comes away with his 8th rebound. His head up and scanning as he brings it into the front court. Stops on a dime, accosted by Gallo. He'll go to the line for 2.
You like that from the standpoint that the clock will stop, you put points on the board. Watch his ball fake when he shows it. Gets him in the air. He knows he's getting hit hard. Now he has to go to the line and make shots.
The officials are going to review this to see if that is a flagrant foul.
We're going to review the play to see if it meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
Right, they hit him above the shoulders. Came down Gallo. He may not have intended it, but it may have happened.
This replay review is, of course, brought to you by Sweet James.
Gallo knows he's in trouble right there, so.
Can I say something? I think this is going to be a flagrant foul. And I'm a fan of Gallo, and I know for sure that was not intended. I'm going to say this is a flagrant foul.
Well, why would I ever disagree with you?
I was waiting for that. But I'm glad that Terrence Mann is okay, but I feel good, and I like the way this unit has responded. Ty Lue, if you're just joining us, basically pulled the starters at the 6:29 mark. They weren't making any headway against this streaking and talented Hawk squad, so he brought in another unit. They have responded as well as you could hope. An opportunity
opportunities here and a long runway here with 15 or so minutes remaining in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you because I don't know if you could legitimately say Gallo made an attempt on the ball.
There's Gallinari. He was such a joy for the Clippers, and it was funny, from afar, he's drafted in 2008. You see him playing in Italy by a team owned by Armani. He goes to New York. You're thinking big city guy, that he's just kind of a diva. He could not be more opposite to that. It was fun to watch him. He's basically a farm boy. He drives the same car that he had when he was drafted in 2008, which is like an SUV that is a non-luxury
Upon
model.
review, the foul is a flagrant foul, penalty 1. 2 shots in the ball for LA.
It feels good to be right every once in a while.
And I knew where to put my money. I went with you. Watch him come down. He doesn't try to make a play on the ball at all.
He had nowhere else to go, and he had to try to stop the layup from Terrence Mann. So, Mann at the line for a couple of free throws. Misses on the first of two. Clippers will have possession after this, as you heard from Josh Tiven. 88-73, Clippers trail. With 2 minutes to play here in this third quarter. Mann makes the second. 10 points, 8 rebounds for Terrence Mann off the bench. And there's Gallo, played in Oklahoma City last year, helping them to the playoffs. And he's trying to do the same thing in Atlanta this year, coming off the bench. Patterson sets the screen for Kennard. They dish it over to Coffey for 3. Oh, and the rebound followed with a punch of the right hand from Patrick Patterson.
Beautiful follow that time by Patterson. He's got the ups tonight going after the ball on the offensive glass.
Bogdanovich walled off by Patterson. They go to Solomon Hill for the 3. Rebounded by Terrence Mann, working on a double-double with 9 rebounds and 10 points. 88-76 Clippers. Mann dashing down the lane, spinning, fading, and firing misses offline. And Rondo has the rebound. But I tell you what, you play against a lineup or a team that has confidence. It's a long night. Rondo, a wild shot, two-handed rebound by Kennard. Luke, a pull-up for 3. Oh, my! It's a single-digit game.
Talked about, can they get it under 10 before the quarter's over? Kennard knocks down the 3, and there you've got your 9-point deficit.
Hunter drives on Patterson and lays it in. Good defense by Patterson. Now the Clippers looking to really push the tempo, go 2 for 1. Mann to the rim. No. And the rebound goes to Rondo. Hawks will have the ball to start the fourth quarter. Rondo shadowed by Coffey. 9 to shoot. Clippers will have the final shot of the quarter. Take a look at Patrick Patterson doing work inside.
Patrick Patterson comes from number 54, balls in the air. Gallo's going after. Patterson gets there first, shoves it right back in. Luke Kennard said, I want to get him underneath that 10-point deficit that we had talked about. So instead, it was then 9.
Kennard, by the way, 22 of his last 34 from the field, his last 5 games. Rondo accelerates, floats it. No. Kennard with the rebound. The Clippers have time. Sidesteps defenders. They heave. Oh, they put it in! Oh, my goodness! What a crescendo for the Clippers to close out the third after trailing by its
Review for interference, score, no score.
down to 8 here as we enter the fourth quarter. Wow! Time now for the Nissan game break with Jeannie Zelasco and Corey Maggette.
Replay confirms successful 3-point shot.
What a misses. Terrence Mann collects another double-double, and here come the Clippers down 8. Luke Kennard's, by the way, offensive efficiency in that third quarter, 260. Oh, and he continues to smolder. Clippers down 6.
Kennard knows he has the hot hand, not reluctant to shoot the ball.
He is 6 for 6 since entering the game at the 6:30 mark of the third quarter. The strings make an evil hiss and quickly silence the Clippers, but it's still a single-digit game, 93-84. Man, strong drive on Bogdanovich, walled off, and then turns it over nearly. Patterson saves it for the Clippers. Late in the clock for Coffee. Drives on Young. Accosted in mid-flight. He'll go to the line for a couple of free throws.
Kennard finished out the quarter with the one off the glass. Comes right back, sees he's got Gallo backing up. Space, knocks it down.
He is 24, speaking of Luke Kennard. 24 of his last 36 from the field. Now a quick word from GMC.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available on the GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. GMC.
Coffee with a pair of free throws. Clipper Young. A deep 3. Flame and smoke brings it across half court. He has hit all 6 of his shots in the last 7 minutes of this one. Patterson, rhythmic 3.
Off the bench and knocking down 2 or 3 threes in a row.
Bogdanovich. Shadowed by Coffee. Fling the 3. Oh, dueling banjolas. The lead swells back to 7. They go into Man. To the rim and lays it in. Carrots. Man will not be denied. 12 points and 10 rebounds.
Brian, I was just about to say that the Clippers need to send Man down into the low post because they had Trae Young guarding him. So let's see if they go back to that again if Trae's going to still guard him.
Great defense by Coffee. Bogdanovich dribbles into the baseline. 2 to shoot for Gallo. The 3 in the air. The rebound tapped over to Young. Extended possession for the Hawks. Hunter for 3. Rebound on the third effort to Bogdanovich, and he lays it in, and that is a tough possession. Still, the Clippers are within striking distance with 9 minutes to play, down 7. Time now for Call Your Shot, brought to you by CarMax. Tonight's topic is Atlanta has held opponents to 99 points per game during their 8-game win streak. Clippers will score 100 points tonight. 9 minutes to play. If they want to win the game, they're going to have to do it. The bench has been solid.
Terrence Mann driving it aggressively. The miss by Coffey, but there's Addison shoving it back down, and this guy's got a hot hand, and he knows it. Kennard with the J.
Ty Lue has gone to the bench to bring in the substitutes of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, just to give the other unit a bit of a breather before they come in and close it, I'm assuming, right? Minutes to play here in the fourth. Let's see what Kawhi Leonard can do. In as wild of a game as we have seen in a while. Man blocked at the...
Wide open with Batum in the corner. Man went down and just realized it yet.
Back out, here's Kawhi. 3. 7:41 to play. Don't fret. Clippers have time.
And they can take twos. They don't need threes necessarily. Those twos. Be aggressive.
Collins, a contested 5-footer on Kawhi Leonard, knocks it in. 191. Kennard drives on Herder. Clever pass into Mann, who lays it in. 193.
Terrence Mann with a beautiful cut from the offside into the low post area. Kennard saw it the entire way.
This line for Kennard, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in 11 minutes. Oh, a big 3 by Trae Young. That goes one way or the other. That's either a deflating shot for the Clippers or one for the Hawks as the Clippers are on the run.
Almost well beyond the three-point line.
Man. Good ball movement. Kennard, another shot, 7 in a row.
Kawhi never even hesitated. He knew who was in the corner. It touched his hand. It was out. It gave Kennard another opportunity.
Young on the switch is now picked up by Batum. Good ball movement, finds Collins in the corner. Herder sheds his defender. Aaron pass into Capella. We're going the other way.
Watch how they move the ball, hit to the right, fake, kick back out, swing it over, and there he is. With the hot hand, Luke Kennard.
Midway real numbers. His offensive efficiency is insane right now. George. To Leonard, hangs inside.
Just to see if they could break up the Moors with that left arm. So he got lucky there, then the pass, the finish in the end.
Nate McMillan hasn't lost his head coach since March 2nd with the Hawks. The Spurs themselves looking for their first set of back-to-back wins in over a month. It will not be easy if they are able to get it done. Timeout. It's a 4-point game. Time now for Nerd Wallet making moves. Some transactions across the league this year. James Harden, our good friend Blake Griffin, PJ Tucker, now a Milwaukee Buck, but the bottom one happened just right before the game. Say goodbye to CAVALIERS. I'm happy for him. Perhaps more of an opportunity in Sacramento for the Clippers. It opens up a little bit of space. It opens up a roster spot. Should there be any buyouts or activity? There you see the reigning executive of the year. While they don't have the hardware yet. In my mind and for my money, the best front office in basketball. They have hit singles, double. They lead by 4 late in the clock. Young chased around by Senyor. Up and under. Puts up a 3.
Momentum is a great thing, is it not? You bring back Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. You add them to a group that played their hearts out and got the Clippers back in the game once again. And now, all of a sudden, that momentum.
Putik tayo na.
Built up and got the Hawks wondering a little bit, questioning, and they love it.
Young splits a pair of defenders, a whistle and a foul. The first against the Clippers here with 4:20 to play in the fourth.
There's your 2-on-1 opportunity. That's one guy back there, Young, and saying, what do I do now? And you talked about getting a good shot. That's a great shot.
After players from both sides hit the floor, Senyor appears to be all right, given assistance by Paul George. Clippers are down by 2. They've trailed by as many as 22 here in the second half. Kennard. 5 to shoot. Fades, fires. Oh my goodness! Luke Kennard is having an out-of-body experience.
Kennard simply sensational. Watch the defensive adjustment. When Trae Young winds up with the ball, the shot clock running down, there's a breakdown. Bad breakdown that time between Senyor and Kennard. You see Senyor looking at the bench as to what do I do when the man who sets the screen slips and goes to the basket? Which one of us is going?
Leonard tied up on the way up, a whistle. And a foul, 108, 105. Hawks.
Communication taking place. Watch. Kennard has him. Watch the screen. Boom. Collins leaves. Kennard goes with him instead of staying with Young.
I'll tell you what, that shot takes a little bit of brass from Trae Young. He hasn't been great from that range this year. As Kawhi Leonard will go to the free throw line. Clippers have plenty of time. Here's Leonard. Makes good on the first two. I promise you don't want to. Corey Maggette. Brought to you by Nissan.
So just 6 points in this second half.
Both of those are tough three-point shots. He's made 2 field goals, both deep three against the ropes. Down 1. Atlanta has the lead and the leather. Young. Whips a pass inside to Snell. Blocked by Kennard. Saved by Kennard. Man for the lead. Hot damn! 2:42 to play in the game. Clippers up 110 to 108.
Nate McMillan out on the floor screaming at the officials that he felt there was a foul at the other end of the floor. For no call, Clippers come down, knock down 3. This is where he complained he felt that Snell was fouled. And instead, ball goes back to the Clippers. And I think I heard you call with a little bit of excitement. Man with the 3.
What a stud Terrence Mann has been tonight. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 26 minutes. There was the reference earlier, the largest comeback for the Clippers this season. Hoping to erase that one. How about Luke Kennard, by the way? Has hit all 8 of his shots. 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Atlanta isn't going away. One of the reasons that Nate McMillan said they've won 8 in a row is the way they have closed out games. Let's see what they have here. Great closeout by Senyor. They find Bogdanov for 3 in the lead. No. Rebound batted around, and it will go back to Atlanta.
And wait a minute, the 24-second clock was reset. And now they just changed it back to 3 seconds left on it. That's correct because there was no possession on that miss.
Inbound goes to Collins. Missed shot. Leonard with the rebound, and here come the Clippers leading by 2. They trailed 88-66. Ty Lue pulled the starters, brought the second unit in, and that's why we are here. Kennard to Senyor for 3. Oh, my goodness! The Clippers lead by 5.
Amazing when you start heating up behind that 3-point line, how much damage it does.
How about 5 threes for Marcus Morris Sr.? Collins, not this time, says Kawhi Leonard. 1:46 to play. Clippers lead by 5.
That may be one of the best defensive plays I've seen Kawhi Leonard make. He dug in, got that arm up, challenged it. There's Senior knocking down the three. Watch Kawhi. Long, elevate, hand the ball, as the coaches say. Well, that's what Kawhi does to block the shot.
I have seen crazy games over the however long I've been here. Once saw the Clippers lead by 20 in the first half and then lose by 30. This one is on par with that. Clippers led 21-11, then trailed 88-66, and now out in front by 5. Can they run through the tape? Couple of screens for Leonard. Gives to Senior with 5 to shoot. Back to Kawhi, 4 to shoot. The 3. Oh, ho, ho! 116, 108. Timeout Atlanta.
Dribble down into a jump shot, then right at the end of the third quarter, it never happened. Oh, yes, it did. What momentum it gave that team going into the huddle. And then against Gallinari, too tricky, too crafty with the ball, knocks down another jump shot. He's only 8 for 8 from the floor right now.
Young dodging the defensive Leonard, lays it in. 116-110.
You want to gamble on a guy like that. Keep the ball in front of you, make him shoot over the top.
Leonard gets downhill, into man. 6 to shoot. Leonard checks the clock. Flings a 3. 119-110. The Clippers have their hands on the wheel. They're driving on the bright side of the road, and all the lights are green. Young misses. George rebounds. Wow.
Brian, I watched the pregame warm-ups, and Kawhi Leonard stood at the top of the circle behind the three-point line. Must have taken 25 jump shots. Assistant coaches feeding in the basketball. Think about it. He just made the last 2 from that exact spot.
Man for 3. Leonard not giving up. Ball is still live for the Clippers. And the Atlanta Hawks may have just waved the white flag. An improbable turn of events. Ty Lue goes to the second unit when the Clippers were down 22 in the third quarter. The second unit brings them back into the game. Kawhi Leonard closes the door on Atlanta. Wow! 119-110. Clippers are winners over the Hawks after trailing 88-66 in the third.
Got to give that man, Coach Ty Lue, and Terrence Mann, who was so instrumental. But Ty Lue, great move by bringing that second unit in. Kawhi, who knocks down that 3. He loves it. He realizes how far back they came from and how big they were tonight in this victory.
What an emotional outburst for Kawhi Leonard. Hey, so much talk about the Clippers struggling in tight ball games. Boy, everyone, and Steve Ballmer loving life. This is a hallmark win for the Clippers, and hopefully one that could really boost them going forward. They looked dead in the water in the third quarter, but a lot of credit to Ty Lue for making the change. There you see Luke Kennard. He's ready to join our Christina Pick.
Thanks, Brian. Luke, I got to give you a second to catch your breath. You guys ended the hot streak in remarkable fashion. You're down 20 plus when Ty Lue sends the starters to the bench. Second unit comes in. How did you guys chip away at that big time deficit?
It's hard. That was all hard. And just staying ready. Guys have been staying ready. Throughout this entire year. It's been a difficult year with everything going on. No fans or anything. It's tough, but I'm proud of those guys the way that we competed. We just needed to bring a little boost to the floor, give a little energy, and that's what we did. And then we brought in our guys at the end, and they took it from there. They took over at the end. So just proud of these guys. I mean, that was a hard fought win and a lot of guts, a lot of heart that we showed.
I want to say that you added a boost to the floor, but I feel like that's an understatement. 8 for 8, 20 points. As the game is going on there and you're riding the momentum, how big was the basket looking for you in those moments?
We just played basketball. We played the right way. Guys found the open man, and we just made the right passes, and that's what it came down to. We just wanted to have fun, play, and that's what we did. We changed the game. We got some momentum.
Never so involved.